Hey everyone, welcome back to Living in YYC, and in today's video we are talking about why tens of thousands of people are moving to Calgary, particularly from Vancouver and Toronto, so stick around. Welcome back to Living in YYC, everybody. I'm Mark Newstater with eXp Realty, along with my wife Natalie, and we help people make a smooth move to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, from wherever you might be coming from. So if that is you, make sure you click that link in the description below, book a call with us so we can help you through the process. It can be stressful, especially when you are moving from another province, but we have done that numerous times over the past couple of years, and we would love to help you as well. So let's get into the topic of today's video, Natalie, which is why thousands and maybe even tens of thousands, I know thousands of people have moved to Calgary from BC and Toronto over the last few years. In 2023, 23,000 people immigrated from other provinces in Canada, and the vast majority of those were from Toronto and Vancouver.
Absolutely. They have found that a lot of people are moving here, obviously, for lifestyle changes. Calgary is a very inclusive, inviting city. We have great lifestyle amenities here. You're close to the mountains, you're close to the US border, we have an international airport, all of the above. And you have every opportunity to do hiking, biking, camping. Camping is fabulous here. Skiing in the winter, mountain biking anytime. It's just a wonderful place to live.
All right, so let's break it down a little bit. We're going to be getting into pricing at the end of the video. You do not want to miss that. The differences in pricing between Vancouver, Toronto, and Calgary will knock your socks off, literally. So hold on to your socks. But let's talk a little bit about lifestyle in, let's first compare Toronto to Calgary. We've been to Toronto a lot of the last few years. We have never lived there, fair enough. Our daughter did live there, right downtown Toronto. I would say the biggest difference is if you are a family living in the GTA, you're commuting, right? You're not typically living directly downtown, because that's for people that are a lot younger, although we did see some families there. In Calgary, you know, when you live in a suburb, you're a family, you want to have schools in the area, that's great, you'll get that. And you're half an hour to downtown. You're, you know, depending on where you live, you're 10, 15, 20 minutes to the Saddle Dome for a Flames game or for the concerts and all that different kind of stuff. Whereas everything we've heard from people that live in GTA, you are just ready for traffic. We were just there for a conference a little while ago, speaking to some of our colleagues from eXp Realty who live in the area. It's like, well, yeah, it was technically a 12-kilometer drive that took me 2 hours.
Yes.
It's like, it's crazy. It's yeah, and that's one of the big things for Toronto to Calgary people, and the lifestyle that you're getting in Calgary with the mountains, everything that's close to you. It's a little tougher when we start comparing Vancouver to Calgary, because they have a pretty amazing lifestyle out there with the weather, right?
They do, absolutely. But it's gray there in the wintertime. Well, it's gray there in the summertime sometimes too.
Yeah, true.
Calgary has the most sunshine out of any major city in Canada, and that's a huge difference, especially in the dead of winter when it's minus 20 and everyone's freezing, but it's a dry cold. It's not, we don't have the humidity here. It's perfect for people with curly hair. It's fabulous. But it does make a difference, right? That, you know, that sunshine really does brighten up your day. And I think for people coming here, they're sort of surprised by that. They're like, oh, it's so bright here. And it's like, yeah, that's one of the bonuses to Calgary.
You were talking earlier about the inclusivity of Calgary and specific to cultural. So we're one of the most multicultural cities in Canada, with how many languages spoken here?
130 different languages spoken here, which is crazy. But the amount of people migrating here from other countries has been massive. And it's a really wonderful thing to see. There are different cultural festivities pretty much every weekend. Yeah. And it's a wide variety of things. And I just find that we sort of get labeled as a bit of a redneck city, but we're not that anymore. We are very multicultural. We have a lot of entrepreneurs here. We have a lot of different industries here. It's not just oil and gas anymore. So that does make a difference, and it attracts a lot of really amazing talent from around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking about lifestyle, talking about how you're so close to Kananaskis, 45 minutes, Canmore, you know, an hour, maybe just over an hour to Banff, and then you're an hour and a half, hour and 45 to Lake Louise. Yeah. But you're still going to need a job when you come to live here. So, you know, people that we've helped move here, Both were remote workers. They could work from wherever. And so they decided to move here from Mississauga, Ontario, where they sold for just over $2 million and bought a house that had basically direct lake access in Auburn Bay, which we've done videos on, for about 1.2, 1.3. So that's a pretty major difference. Their whole family ended up moving here, everywhere from High River to parts of Calgary, and I believe Okotoks as well. But job front wise, we are an oil and gas dominated province, but that doesn't mean that that's the only type of job you can get here. There's tons of tech that's moved in here. We've joined the whole tech corridor with Vancouver, Seattle, and Portland, so there's a lot of tech that has immigrated here. There's de Havilland Aircraft, which is building a factory just east of Calgary. Amazon just opened their second warehouse in Calgary. There's Costco. There's so many head offices here. Really, any kind of job that you want to get, you can get here, and that includes the film industry.
Absolutely. The film industry is booming here, and it has been for a number of years. COVID definitely did a hit on it, like a lot of other places, but it's really gone above and beyond. The Last of Us was filmed here.
That hit HBO show, The Last of Us, on Crave in Canada. It was filmed here. So jobs are available here. I don't know if plentiful is the right word to say, but there are people always hiring. Again, to use our daughter as an example, when she moved back from Toronto, it's like, okay, well, I have an interview today here and there, tomorrow and over here. That, like, so many jobs in her marketing field were available to her, and she actually had choice at the end of the day when she ended up accepting the job that she did. So jobs won't be an issue here. But let's talk, I think one of the most important things that people are going to consider, the third thing, is schools. We talked about lifestyle, talked about jobs, and then schools outside of pricing is probably one of the most important things. We have a very robust public system here with schools in a lot of the newer neighborhoods. They're building a whole bunch more schools in Calgary to accommodate for the growth, and then also the Catholic side too.
Yeah, we have the Catholic side. We also have charter schools.
Yes.
And there are private schools as well, depending on what you want. I have found it very interesting that both the public school system and the separate school system, which both are free to, it's paid out of your property taxes, obviously, but they have a multitude of programs available. You've got gifted and talented. You've got AP classes. You've got science. My girls went to the science school. There are language like French immersion, Spanish immersion, Mandarin immersion, all of the different programs. There are programs for kids that want to do, theater and music and that kind of things. There's the sports school that allows kids to play, sports. We have the hockey academy.
Well, there's a few of them that do hockey. It's called the Edge School, and they're a massively talented hockey academy there. So schools, you will have your choice for sure. But now let's get to pricing. I'm sure this is what everyone's sticking around for, and thanks for sticking around for this whole video. We're bringing up the trusty iPad again, as we're going to go into detail now about pricing differences between Calgary, Toronto, and Vancouver. So first off, in Vancouver, and this is Vancouver proper. So if you're going to at us in the comments about, hey, well, this isn't Fraser Valley and this, yeah, it's going to be the most expensive of all the Vancouver area, metro area property, but we thought we wanted to compare kind of apples to apples. We're comparing Calgary, not Okotoks, not Airdrie. So anyway, here we go. So overall in Vancouver in April 2024, the overall price, this is for all the segments combined, $1,205,800. Detached prices, $2,039,800. I'm going to say that again. $2,039,800. Wait till we get to the Calgary numbers. Townhouse and multiplex, and they don't have semi-detached listed as a segment there. So that was $1,127,200. And then apartment condos, $776,500. And Natalie, why don't you take Toronto?
So we will caveat, this is Toronto, so this is area code 416 and 905. So that, as we understand it, is the GTA of Toronto and then the Golden Horseshoe, sort of around Lake Ontario. So detached, this is end of April, detached, the average was $1,516,070. Semi-detached came in at $1,139,929. Townhouses came in at $949,839. And condo apartments, $728,067. I can't.
Yeah, you're paying to live in two of Canada's biggest cities, right? Canada's biggest city, and then of course Vancouver as well. So when we now compare it to Calgary, so we're going to give you the Calgary pricing, then do not leave, because you're going to see the big, massive hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars difference if you can make a move to Calgary. Okay, so Calgary pricing as of the end of April 2024. So our total price was $603,700. That is $602,100 less than Vancouver and $552,467 less than Toronto. But let's break down the segments. Detached homes in Calgary, they've been shooting up, no question. If you've lived in Calgary all your life, you're going, holy doodles, like, they've really gone up in price, $749,000 in the month of April. Now, here's the difference between Vancouver and Calgary. If you move from Vancouver to Calgary, you will save $1,290,800. $1,290,800. That is bonkers. That is just so crazy. And that is, right there, we could end the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. That is one of the, there it is right there, right? You can buy a detached home in Calgary if you're moving from Vancouver, and you would get an apartment condo for the same price in Vancouver.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, all right, let's keep going. In Toronto, not quite as good, but you're still $767,070, basically half the price of Toronto detached homes. Semi-detached, again, there's no semi-detached segment in Vancouver that we can find anyway. $668,400 was the price in Calgary. That is $471,529 less than Toronto. Townhouses, this one really is quite shocking. Townhouse in Calgary, they have also skyrocketed. If you've been watching any of our videos, our live weekly updates, you know that we talk about townhouses as the kind of the first entry point to that home, right? That's why people love them. $458,100, they've gone up big time. But you're still gonna save $669,100 if you move from Vancouver townhouse to Calgary townhouse. I think the reality is most people moving from those cities aren't going to go segment to segment, but you never know. This is the comparison.
It might be a lifestyle thing. Right?
It might be. Easy. It might be. In Toronto, you're going to pay, if you move from Toronto to Calgary for townhouses, $491,739 less. And finally, apartment condos. So this is a segment that's really now caught up to its high in 2014 for prices in Calgary. It took from then till basically till 2023, 2024 for it to finally catch up. But oh my gosh, it has $346,200. Again, you're thinking, wow, that's high. Well, it's still $430,300 less than Vancouver and $379,867 less than Toronto. So again, Toronto prices are an average of the 416 and 905 area codes, and Vancouver is Vancouver proper. So to wrap this up now, thanks for sticking around for the whole video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. If you move from either of those cities? But let's wrap this up. I think, for people that are considering this move, number one, reach out to us, right? There's a link down below. Call us, text us, 825-256-5007, because we do help people make a smooth move to Calgary. So do that. But I think there's a lot of questions you have to ask. Jobs has got to be the first one, right?
Absolutely. That's number one, obviously.
The
rental market is tight here, just like it is everywhere else. So that is something to consider when you're moving here, if you're not buying right away. So you get your job figured out, get your schools figured out. Does it make sense for you from a price perspective, depending on which segment you're moving from? But overall, you're hundreds and hundreds, you're $500,000, sometimes over $1 million ahead. With detached prices from Vancouver to Calgary, you're $1.2 million ahead, right? So you can get a lot of house in Calgary for even if you just used half of that amount, right? So, but in any case, thank you so much for watching this whole video. Again, reach out to us. We help people make moves to Calgary. And also, if you're in Calgary, we help with that too. We'd love to hear from you. Again, like, subscribe, comment down below, and hit us up at our numbers in the description below. And we will see you next time. Bye.